Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, Virgos, I am delighted to be back with you guys. I'm mostly moved, so life is getting back to normal. Let's take a look at a storytelling. I'm going to pull a couple cards for a North Node in Virgo at the end of this as well. But first and foremost, I want to take a look at what is there to kind of like take care of, wrap up before the end of the year. So we have got King of Pentacles. We have got the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, and we have a Six of Cups. Virgos, I feel like I'm about to say some of the stuff I just said in Libra, the Libra video. To start out with the King of Pentacles here, this could be our Virgo, or there could be a divine masculine. Please remember, storylines can always be flipped for Virgo as the lead character or somebody else who has intentions. But this is, what must still be dealt with by the end of the year. We have a soulmate returning, right? There's a lot of memories here. There's a lot of somebody wants to talk. Maybe it's Virgo who wants to talk to somebody that they have not had collaboration with in a long time. The Six of Pentacles in the reverse. This is somebody that I almost want to say Virgo thought for a period of time that they would never speak to this person again. And yet the memories remain. The memories have always still been there. The memories are still there. The desire to talk to somebody. This could be a surprise that Virgo's like, you know what? All of a sudden, I actually, there's a lot of things that I want to speak to them again. Now, this could be somebody that Virgo loved, still loves, and it doesn't have to be romantic love. We actually have Knight of Wands in the reverse. If Virgo wants to reconnect with a soulmate before the end of the year, it's not because it's like, oh, passion. It's actually more like there was so much meaning here, and this person has stayed on my mind. What is it that has stayed on Virgo's mind? And please remember, if this were reversed, it could be that this is how somebody feels about Virgo. The Magician sideways. Things didn't go as planned. There was a whole lot of hopes, wishes, and dreams that were not fulfilled, from what I can tell. A whole lot of things with that Magician. By the way, that's Virgo Gemini. So certainly Virgo could have been dealing with a Gemini or a Capricorn or a Taurus, since we first had that King of Pentacles. But it says I almost think Virgo is saying, if I knew someone once upon a time and I didn't give it all of my best, if I didn't pour myself into the connection and yet I wanted a great outcome, that could be something that Virgo's like, that's not the way it should have gone. I should have poured everything I had into that. If I failed, stopped short of giving as much as I could have to something, then maybe that's on me. And maybe I'd like to go back and see if I could give to something one more time. I think this is feeling like unfinished business because, when we manifest, we have to go all in. We have to really think of what we want for the outcome and really try to take steps to make it happen. We can't sit there and go, I want that, but I'm going to throw every blockage into it. I want to manifest it. I want to manifest a great relationship, but I'm going to hide some things. I'm not going to fully pour myself into it, but I sure want that great outcome. I almost feel like there's this little bit of like, it was a bit insincere. Okay, Seven of Pentacles, and we've got the Black Widow. So I'm just going to say something got a little bit poisoned. And I think this could be Virgo saying, I don't want to carry with me anything that I did to sabotage without just acknowledging it. So I don't know if Virgo's going to be sending, a letter of like recognition, like, hey, listen, I haven't forgotten what occurred. I haven't forgotten you. I haven't forgotten what went on between us. And for my part, I just want to take responsibility for whatever parts maybe I could have done different or better. If I poisoned the connection a little bit here and there with some, fears, or if I didn't give everything that I could have to make it be successful, I'm just owning that. It could be that Virgo does this more for themselves, but I don't think so. I think that this is actually going to be said out loud or, via some kind of a letter or something. I think this is Virgo making promises to themselves that moving forward, they'll always give everything that they actually want, the best energy they possibly can. I think this is Virgo promising themselves, you know what, since the only person whose life is at stake is my own, as far as like how great my outcomes are or are not. So therefore I should have the greatest investment in making them what I want it to be, because it's my life we're talking about. So why don't I just always go for the best? Why don't I always pour myself into the very best? 10 of Pentacles. This looks terrific. This looks like we have a Virgo who's so, I think this is like a pact that Virgo is making in their own life. I will always work as hard as I can to make things go as well as they can. I will always, from this moment forward, and even if that means backtracking and reaching out to somebody and sending them a message and saying, I've reflected, thought back a lot. I didn't always contribute the way I could have to making things amazing. And I wanted things to be amazing. So, you know what? I would maybe either do it a little different now, or I would put more energy in now. I've had a lot of time to think about this, and man, I never want to not get what I want out of a situation again. So I'm always going to be all in from here on out. I'm trying to figure out, is this Virgo saying this? And are they really reaching out to somebody to say that? Or is this more for themselves? 6 of Wands sideways. It's both for sure. It's Virgo being very humble, but also I think this is the strongest anybody can ever be when they think about their own behaviors, their own life, and they say, here's what I'm going to do from now on, because here's what I want things to look like. With that 6 of Wands, this is about success. But Virgo's saying, I don't always have success. And I've been evaluating what components of my moments where I didn't get everything I wanted, what things could I have done different? Virgo is awesome. This is a character who is like not egotistical. They are big enough to recognize what they want and how to get what they want. But are they saying it to somebody else, or are they just saying it to themselves? Let me put it this way. This Virgo would not be shy about saying any of this to somebody else, but most importantly, it's that they feel this way about themselves. And this is not a Virgo knocking themselves saying, oh my God, I ruined a good relationship. No. Virgo's not taking all this responsibility, but they are looking at, I want to set a course in my life to where I always make the best negotiations for my best outcome. That means I never want to say yes to stuff I don't really like. That also means I don't want to sabotage things that I do. That also means, if there's somebody that I love, and did I tell them how I felt? Did I make sure that they really knew? Look, if this Virgo really already told somebody how they actually felt, then this Virgo's got nothing to worry about. They already advocated for themselves. Not all things that we would give our energy to will work out for us. But I think this is very specific about a particular soulmate that Virgo didn't wind up working with. And Virgo themselves is saying, I am man enough, woman enough, mature enough to say there are things that I could have and should have done different. And for me, moving forward, I'll always do the absolute best in my greatest interest to get the absolute best outcome. So beautiful. I really like this character. 8 of Pentacles. And then Virgo's busy at work. I almost feel like this is so similar to the way the Libra storyline was. We have the Devil and we have the 7 of Wands in the reverse. If there's any other like fear to focus on, it's fears are like, it's not really worthy of being scared of things. There's really no blockages in front of Virgo. Moving forward for this remaining part of the year, I think that Virgo is going to be knocking fears out of the park one after the other after the other. Part of it, I think, is that they're realizing that that's insecurity is all any of us really have for, something to like push out of the way and be like, big deal. So I'm a little bit nervous about this. Still doesn't stop me from saying what I want to say. Doesn't stop me from walking in and giving my resume to a job. I might be intimidated. I might be scared, but I'm not going to let it stop me. It's not a significant blockage. I'm scared, but I do it anyway. Maybe I'm scared to reach out to a soulmate, tell them these things, but I can do it anyway. Maybe I'm scared to walk into a job that I really want to work at this company, but I don't even know if they're hiring. But I put together a damn good resume, and I'm going to march myself through the door and say, I don't know if you guys are hiring, but I want to drop off my resume because I really want to work here. It just feels like Virgo's going to be so much more bold, saying the only thing that I have to work on is not letting fear prohibit me from pursuing the beautiful outcomes that I want in my life for beautiful things. That is amazing. This is a Virgo who is like, I think by the end of the year, they're going to be in very like powerful energy. Okay, what else aside from I would like to know just a little bit more about if Virgo's going to be reaching out to a soulmate. Do we have a potential like outcome here in that relationship? Five of Swords, Empress sideways. Virgo could have been dealing with a Libra or a Taurus. There was a real painful argument. Real painful argument. Page of Swords. I don't know if Virgo said something particularly mean or if both people just felt like the argument had ruined the connection and both have been feeling like you didn't even like me. And both have been, evaluating things. Is this relationship, did this impact Virgo and this individual in the same way where they both felt like, as I say that, we literally have the Lovers, two people standing there. Virgo's not the only person that has felt devastated over the loss of this connection, but also has spent a lot of time thinking about what happened, because I feel like these two mourned the loss of the connection. Virgo and whomever this is, it could have been an air sign for sure, since we have that Five of Swords. I feel like Virgo and this person could both have been mourning the loss of this connection all this time, but then contemplating it very similarly. Like, I thought the world of Virgo, and Virgo's like, I thought the world of them. And yet we had a fight and it terminated the whole connection. We killed it. And yet I loved this person and I thought the world of them. This could have been a same-sex couple, doesn't have to be. But it's so crazy because as both people have been evaluating things, I think Virgo and this person have come to the same conclusion. We were good together. Until that massive fight, we were good together. We loved each other. And I say loved, but I think it's love still. I feel like this relationship could really still have legs. This does not feel like something that's over. I feel like if Virgo is coming to this conclusion and is still wanting to readdress this connection, so too are they. We've got the Two of Wands sideways. Both people wondering at the same time right now, should I reach out or should I let this go? Like, I'm sad because we were good together. Damn it, we were good together. And then one fight ruined everything. They're thinking heavily about Virgo too. Six of Swords, Ten of Wands. Could we get past this? This always makes me think of Capri and the Blue Grotto. I don't know if somebody's been there or likes, that kind of like beautiful Mediterranean. I mean, who wouldn't love the Mediterranean, right? It's time to lay down all of this stress. It has been a painful time apart for both Virgo and this person, is what I see here. Okay, final message. What else should be wrapped up by the end of this year? What's the big ticket item, right? We have Virgo overcoming fears. We see Virgo sharing the same exact energy that soulmate has in regards to Virgo. Everybody wants this relationship to be healed. This has been really painful, and there is still love here. Anything else for Virgo to address before the end of the year? We've got Knight of Cups, we've got the Five of Swords, and we've got the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. Honestly, we come right back to almost the same situation where moving forward toward things that we want emotionally require us to first say, okay, then how is it that when I find something that I want, how come sometimes it gets sabotaged? How can I shift my behavior a little bit? Because it's proving to be a blockage. If the stuff that I want, then I wind up having arguments and struggles and fights with, it wrecks stuff. It almost says like, and I'm not saying Virgo was quick to anger before, but it does say that acknowledging, like maybe there have been a lot of unnecessary battles and struggles. Sometimes Virgos are like analytical and they'll say things that are like, well, this is a truth, this is a fact, but it might not come out maybe in the most perfect and diplomatic way. And so then instead it'll be a clash. It's like, well, I want this, but then they did that and that didn't suit me. And so I say it bluntly, that makes somebody else angry. Now we have conflict. And it just says for everything that we want in this life, whether it's a lover, whether it's a business deal, whatever it is, it's like if there's something we emotionally want, then try to minimize creating conflict by using like inflammatory language. And I think that's just such a great message as a whole for like everything all the time. But it says that has to be addressed so that moving into 2026 in particular, like everything just goes smooth like clockwork. Now, please know I am a Virgo, right? I'm a huge Virgo. I'm a double Virgo and I have it all over in my chart. So I know lots of times I'll hear my own self in these stories and I'll be like, okay, that was not the best way to say that. I have to work on my delivery also because I can be too blunt. And I think that is like in my day-to-day life too. I mean, not just when I'm telling a story, but I have to, really think about diplomacy more instead of just like spin it out sometimes. And I kind of think that's a great message. So I only add myself into this because I don't want it to sound rude. Okay, let's get a message for anyone who's in the North Node, Virgo. Now you'd have to check your natal placement to see where your North Node is. And just briefly, I like the North and South Node. You guys have known this. If you've been on my channel any length of time, you've known I've always said this all these years. But some people don't agree. I'm not an astrologer. Some people don't agree with the North-South Node concept at all, and that's totally fine. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. South Node placement is kind of like what we are born into this world already having an aptitude for. It's the lessons of our past lives that came with us. So it's the stuff that we already have a comfort zone in. But North Node is where we're striving to go, what we're striving to achieve, how we should push ourselves out of a comfort zone to try to get into this other pattern of growth. So just know this is a North Node message, which is totally separate. If you're a Virgo rising, you're not, you could still have a North Node as a Virgo, but probably not necessarily. You'd have to look at your natal chart. So just bear that in mind. So a North Node message here would be for the end of this year, if a character is like striving to go toward their North Node, Virgo. And by the way, I'll do a North Node for every single video. So if you find out what your North Node is, then you'd need to go watch that video for that particular North Node, okay? But we have the Lovers. It is in the reverse. We have the Sun upright. Two major arcana. So Lovers and Sun, we've got Gemini, and then we've got the Leo coming in. This says there can be a lot of joy and clarity if we pick the right partnership. So for somebody with a North Node in Virgo, the biggest thing to wrap up at the end of this year is getting comfortable, and this could be tough, but getting comfortable being more bold in going after the lovers that a character actually wants, and also getting more comfortable saying no thank you to the lovers that a character does not want. So this is very much about choose honestly for oneself, or you'll never get the outcome that you want. If you end up saying yes to somebody who wants to date you, but you didn't really want to date them, but you were too shy to ask somebody else that you preferred to date, this is the time to break that cycle and start asking out the people you really want to ask out, and gently, diplomatically saying no thank you to the relationships that you don't want, particularly when it comes to matters of the heart, because it's just too important not to, be honest with oneself. Don't miss out on the lovers that you really still want, or don't accidentally put yourself into relationships you don't want to be in. That's what the message is for this fictional character. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing.